Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Matt and it is Maniac Monday already. Yes, 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 it's already the beginning of a new week. First and foremost, I hope each and every one of you had a fantastic weekend. Hopefully you got to get out there and enjoy some of this nice weather we're having. I know some places it rained a little. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully during the week you guys can make up for it with some decent weather. And also, please do like, share, and subscribe. And I always do wish that you guys are having a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that wonderful stuff when you're watching these videos. I do sincerely mean it from the bottom of my heart. I do really care about you guys, and I'm happy you're here to check out my videos. And I see there is a few more new faces that are here, and for all the old faces that do not know, please do always look in the description box for more information and a link to the trailer, some of the starring cast, who the director is, runtime of the cut I'm watching, and like I said, a link for either a trailer or a scene for the film of the day. So it's pretty rare when I don't find a trailer, but I can think of one. I think The Devil was that way. The massacre video, old Hong Kong flick. I think it was Hong Kong that made that one. Either way, I did review that one, so if you're curious, go ahead and check that out. It was from, I think, like a month and a half, 2 months ago, something like that. Anyways, let's move on to the film of the day. Today's is a very silly, hokey, corny B-movie that is fun and should be checked out by any B-movie connoisseur, in my opinion, because it is perfect for as far as what a B-movie should be. It fits all the criteria in every way, shape, or form. So this one came out in 1986, so it's been a hot minute. It's rated R, and it's running at an hour and 23 minutes, the cut I am watching. I do not know if this one suffered any cuts other than the first segment has a little more gore than the rest of it. So I imagine maybe if anything was cut, it was maybe some of that, or maybe some of the nudity in this one. But otherwise, I look for this one to be completely uncut everywhere you go. I could be very, very wrong, because censorship does exist in some strange ways across the world, and it is the devil. And I'm sorry if you live in one of those countries where it is very, very brutally rampant as far as censorship goes. Who's in this? We got Scott Valentine, Melissa Leo, Nicole, Picard, and then Matt Mitler. He's the only one I really recognize from this. He is from I just reviewed it recently, The Mutilator, from not last week but the week before. It was, I believe, a Thursday or a Friday pick. Do check that one out. That is a great little movie. If you want to check out that review, please do as well. Like I said, it's not last week but the week before. I do know that one for sure. And this one's directed by Jeffrey Delman, and it is none other than Deadtime Stories, and not to be confused with the George A. Romero Presents Deadtime Stories films. This one's from the 80s. This is also an anthology film, but this one is much better than those two combined, in my opinion. This one is not a masterpiece by any means. It's probably a mid-tier anthology film, because that's exactly what it is an anthology. I would say it's probably mid-tier, definitely far from top, but I wouldn't call it a bottom tier either. It's right there, smack dab in the middle, in my opinion. Now this is the Scream Factory Shout Factory release that they came out with. It was last year at some point, I believe, or a year before. It is a Blu-ray DVD combo, standard issue pressed on those. Zero reversible cover artwork, but you get the a picture of the creature at the very, very end of the film, which was inspired by one of the director's friends' children, or children's friends, or a child that he had some sort of connection to. it was based off of a drawing that that child had done, and they ran with it, and it's definitely very crude looking by today's special effects standards, but it's very doable for 80 standards. Now, as far as special features go, this does have a high def transfer from the original film negatives. We got some interviews on here and a commentary from the director himself. So there's a few special features in there. There you go, guys. If you wanted to take a double look at that, and then plus you get a couple pictures from the movie here. Now, what is it about? Like I said, it's an anthology film. It's the wraparound story is about a uncle who is babysitting his nephew, and the nephew does not want to go to sleep. He consistently wants the uncle to come upstairs and tell him bedtime stories. So hopefully he goes to bed. Each time the uncle reluctantly does it. He obviously isn't feeling it, like he doesn't want to do it. He wants to go back to watching his program that had, I think it was like Miss Nude America or some shit like that. He wanted to watch something. He was watching something along those lines. So the uncle has other intentions for the evening. Now, the first story is extremely forgettable. As a matter of fact, I only remember bits and pieces of it, and I've seen this movie probably at least 4 or 5 times in my lifetime, and that one is just, no matter what I do, take notes, no matter what, I still forget pieces of it because it's so bad, the first story. So don't let that story scare you away from this, because the wraparound does work. The second and third stories are much better. The first one happens to deal with these witches, and they're trying to resurrect the dead and essentially come up with an idea or a spell to make them live forever and stay young forever. One of those kind of ordeals. It's kind of hokey, really cheesy. It reminds me of something that might have ended up on Company of Wolves, that other anthology film that has, I believe, Angela Lansbury was in that one. I do have a copy of that one. That one's got awesome artwork. It's, as far as the movie goes, that one's another one that's quite dull from the beginning, but it picks up on the later episodes and the later segments, not episodes but segments. Now the second segment is much better. Like I said, the second and thirds are where it's at for as far as this film. The second one is about it stars Matt Mitler, and he is a guy who he's a drug addict, and he is very upset that the pharmacy where he goes to have his where he has his little hookup, where his little connection to get his dope, he is unable to score as much as he wanted to. The guy goes to give him his pills, and lo and behold, it's the wrong medication. It is for this little old lady. I forget exactly what type of medication it is, but she's a fun character. At one point, when Matt Mitler's character is there slamming on the door and pounding on the windows and trying to get the old lady to come out and switch the medications. At one point, she has a giant meat cleaver, and she clearly states, "I have a meat cleaver and I know how to use it." Very funny line, and it cracks me up every time I see it. Now, there's also this whole sub-story, because that story is based on Little Red Riding Hood. There's a whole sub-story with the Little Red Riding Hood character, who is off with her boyfriend, and they're having a little there's a awkward little love scene that involves him blowing up a inflatable raft, and very poorly doing it because he's gasping for air as he's done doing it. In this, it looks like an old fishing shanty or something along those lines. It definitely does not look like a place place where I would want to have sexual relations with my my spouse or anybody, or yeah, anyone. Now, as far as the third story goes, the third one is what was the third one about? It is it's Goldi Lox and the Three Bears, and that one is by far my favorite story out of all of them. The Three Bears are criminals too. As you start off at the beginning of that segment with Goldi Lox, and she's talking to a corpse, and you find out that Goldi Lox is a multiple time murderer. She has telekinetic powers, and this is how she's able to subdue all of these men that she has killed throughout the time. And then after that you meet both Baby Bear and Papa Bear, and they have just escaped the local mental institution where they are being held for being criminally insane. Somehow they're able to get a gun, and they're able to escape. And then you finally meet Mama Bear. She comes in racing in. She saves them. There's a funny little thing where she just misses the one guy with the car, and she throws it in reverse and backs up and goes over him again. Oh, it is absolutely hilarious. I forget what exactly she says, but she has a nice little one-liner in there that is something about like, if you're not going to do it right, don't do it at all. Something along those lines, if memory serves me correct. But it's really funny. Lo and behold, they leave, and they find out that Goldi Lox, and it's spelled Goldilx, and Goldie, and then her last name is Lox, Lox. Goldi Lox is staying in their house. First, before they get there, there's a whole thing. The Papa Bear and Baby Bear are hungry after breaking out, and the Mama Bear, brings a picnic basket, and the picnic basket is full of porridge, and there's a whole little thing of, why porridge? I'm tired of porridge. This is all you know how to cook is porridge. It's full of funny little jokes like that. That poke fun at the old three bears and Goldilocks and the Three Bears story. They meet at the house. Baby Bear quickly falls in love with Goldilocks. It's at first she's kind of fights him away and doesn't want anything to do with it. And then she quickly succumbs to his charm, because I don't know why, because Baby talks like he's only 4 in the brain. He is not very with it and smart. He's a kind of a big Ophi type character. He's very, very funny. He makes me laugh. The whole segment. The Three Bears are great, and Goldilocks is great. You get plenty of nudity in that one if you want to see Goldilocks naked. Who kind of reminds me a slight bit of what's her face that. Is to see Karen Black. She kind of has a young Karen Black kind of look going on. Kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. She is one of those, one of the better looking characters in the entire film. She isn't like oh my god, Karen Black kind of looking, but she kind of reminds me of her, just a pinch. Now, as far as any kind of ratings goes, on a technical side, this thing is kind of a mess in places. As far as plot gaps go, in that first story is such a lunker. It's just a piece of crap, that first story. It almost makes you want to turn it off every time. I watch it. I force myself to get through the first one every time. It is definitely a rough watch. So that one definitely brings down the value of the film just a little bit, but not enough to make you dislike it. In my opinion, I think it's still very much worthy of a watch. So I'm going to give it a 2 on the technical side, just because of the first one being so bad. Now, as far as like presentation goes on this, it is extremely good. They did a pretty good job cleaning this one up. It still gets a little dark in places, but it's hard to completely clean up something and make a HD format when it's so old. It's definitely aged over the years, but it still looks pretty crisp and clean on this. I'm not gonna lie. Now, as far as any kind of entertainment goes, this thing is very entertaining once you get, like I've said, get past that first story. Just get past that one. Do watch it, but try it. Keep telling yourself it gets better. It gets better. It gets better. So don't let that deter you from seeing this at all. So I'm going to give this thing a 4 as far as an entertainment side. This thing is extremely entertaining, minus that one story. The wraparound story is entertaining. The kid is annoying as hell. Like most kid actors, they're annoying and can only be dealt with for X amount of time before I want to turn the TV off or fast forward. So I don't like watching movies. A lot of movies with child actors, unless they're children's movies. Those are a little different. They're a lot easier to deal with, unlike some movies like this, or like what is it, Godzilla's Return, or House by the Cemetery. That kid that plays Bob, annoying as shit. My least favorite thing about that film is Bob. But this one, the kid he doesn't annoy me to that level. It's a fun movie. Check it out. It's definitely what I call a B movie masterpiece. All right, guys, love your faces. Peace as always. Tune in tomorrow. I got one that it's not a good movie. I'm just going to flat out tell you tomorrow is going to be a terrible Tuesday kind of day. But it is worth tuning in to hear exactly what I have to say about it. All right, guys. Love your faces and in peace as always.